Kowalski again, and we're going to do another session of Space in Miniature Live. And welcome to Saturday. And what we're doing is going through a build of the Fantastic Plastic Manned Orbiting Lab, because I'm doing a Gemini collection, which I showed you in previous episodes. So I've had the whole week off for the holidays, and I've made a lot of progress this week. So let's swing the camera around, and I'll show you what I've got. Can you center it right on here? There you go. Okay, thank you. So here's the drawings I've done, and here's the kit so far. What they have are 4 barrel sections, and then there's a front and a half section of the lab, and here's one of the pieces. And what happened was, though, they somehow molded like a prototype part, and it's a little bit too long, so they're sending me a replacement. You can see here it's a little long. And so I've done the other 3 and put them together. They have rings to hold them. The rings had these cross members, and I cut some out for the telescope area. So what I'm going to do, if you lay this off here on the drawings, here's the Gemini. Here's the pressurized area. Here's the part with the tunnel. This is the pressurized lab where the crew was. And then the rest of this here is the telescope. And so you got that section and this section, and you put it together and you get the whole thing. So what I'm going to do, of course, naturally, I have to add some additional detail. So I've got this much together, and I scratch built part of this secondary mirror assembly, which you see here, which is a tripod, and that sits in there, and there's this other piece that goes in here that I'll add later, and that will allow the telescope mirror to rotate, and there'll be a mirror on here. I've got that part cut out right now with just foam board, and that'll go something like this in there. And so that's going to be in there. And then I've got another assembly I'm building, which is going to be looking like this. This is going to go inside. There's another, you can see on the drawing, there's these, what happens is the light comes in, bounces off this mirror, goes to the main mirror, then back, and then here into the camera. So these mirrors are kind of visible through this door. So this mirror is going to be on this assembly here. So I've got a little ring, and I've got some pieces cut out for the mirror. I'm just going to use, I found some hobby, craft store mirrors, but this one's kind of close, but not exactly the right size. So I'm just going to use some bare metal foil on a disc here, close enough. So we got those assemblies are next, and then that's going to fit inside here. So we're doing a little scratch building, and it doesn't have to be real detailed because you're not going to see it. It's going to be kind of on the bottom. But I did cut the door open. This is not in the kit, so you had to cut the door open. That was a lot of fun because this is pretty thick resin. And working on the seams. So I've got like 3/4 of the pieces here. These interior parts. They give you little beads to kind of line it up, which is pretty clever. Going through a lot of CA adhesive to hold this together. So this is coming along nicely. Got to clean these seams up. Work on the interior mirror assemblies. And then the back part's pretty clean. I trimmed off a little length because based on the drawings I had, it was like a 1/2 inch too long. But I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is put another fakey mirror in the back after painting the whole interior flat black, and that'll be this piece. And then this front part will go together like that. And the Gemini is in here somewhere. The Gemini is just 2 sections. Got that put together nicely, and that'll go on the front with this adapter. We'll talk about colors sometime down the road, but it's going to look something like this when it's all done. I haven't even put this together myself. So there it is. It's going to be a pretty large model, but it's pretty cool. So there it is. So the next step is to continue doing some interior here. I'm going to make like a little cardboard mock-up of the camera assembly that's on the inside, because when you look inside here, that's all covered in thermal blankets. And I'm just assuming because it's a camera, everything's going to be black. So I'm just going to make a little cardboard structure, cover it with foil, paint the whole thing black, and then I'll add the mirrors afterwards, of course, because we don't want black covered mirrors. So that's going to be try to get that done. I got to wait for this replacement part. Meanwhile, I can paint the Gemini capsule, put little details, paint the details and decals on that, and then that can just get glued on at the very end. I could probably start cleaning up the what they call the ACTS, Attitude Control and Translation Subsystem thrusters. Clean those up. The kit provides them. They're a little small, but not too bad. And I got to scratch up these fairings for the tracking cameras, which, as you notice, they're not on the kit, but that can just be added on the outside. These were the cameras that they would use to spot targets to take the reconnaissance photos of. So it's coming along nicely. It's going to be pretty cool when it's done. At some of these seams, there's also a seam at this section. You see a lot of, in the NRO website, there's a lot of photos they've declassified, and you see a lot of pictures of this barrel section with the opening here. And in fact, I've noticed there's pictures, there's actually two different pieces of hardware you see, because there's differences in the detail. One, I'm guessing, is a structural test assembly, and one was the first flight article. So which one is which is not real clear, but since they never really built one, it's not gonna matter. I don't want to get too deep into this. So while I'm waiting for this, we got a couple of other things to work on, and progress is coming along nicely. Having the vacation really helps a lot. So this is a combination of building a resin kit and a little scratch building. And again, I'm not getting too detailed about the scratch building because it's stuff you're not going to see. And going to be a really interesting finish when we're all done. So that's where we are this week. I'll probably gonna do this again in another week. So thanks for tuning in, and check out my Space in Miniature website. Thanks. See you, and a Happy New Year. Bye.